Now we're cooking. It's the coach. This is Madden Football on EA Sports. Coming up, running back Dalvin Cook. He's back and coming off a big game a weekend ago, as it'll be the Oakland Raiders taking on the Minnesota Vikings. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. The scene a short time ago, this crowd decked out in purple, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football, folks, as the Vikings get set to do battle with Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders. From up top, I'm Brandon Godden. Charles Davis, as always, with me as well. And CD, defenses better be on their toes in this one because we got two quarterbacks who love to throw the football, and they throw it very well.
Over 4,000 yards each in the previous season. So what you're saying is, if you're a defender, I hope you prepared properly. Hydrated, stretched, be on your toes, as you said, because the ball's coming your way.
Two weeks have come and gone. It's off to week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Out come the Vikings with Kirk Cousins leading the way. Cousins surprisingly efficient in his first season as a member of the Vikings. He hit on better than 70% of his passes, second only to Drew Brees, and was actually just the 6th ever NFL quarterback to finish a season above that 70% mark. Here's Dalvin Cook, third year back from Florida State. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Here we go.
Cousins gives way to Cook. And a good job by the Raider defense yet again as they drop him for a second straight loss. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
And Brandon, as we continue to see, so much of the influence on this game is now coming from those hybrid-type players. In this case, strong safety, not worried about covering the pass. What a play on the run.
Tackled for a loss.
Yeah, forget the pregame introductions. He introduced himself with authority on that play.
Cousins. Open man as Thielen is complete. 19 yards that time for number 19. On 1st and 10, Cousins. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down.
The beauty of route running is it doesn't matter what position. Everyone's doing the same thing. In this case, tight end, selling the vertical route. Get the defensive back on his heels, break off for the corner. And with good timing, you get a completion as we just saw there.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 43. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And his throw's going to be incomplete. And the offensive starters for the Vikings.
And a big key is going to be how can these wideouts create separation from the defensive backs? Because we've seen some early success in the passing game in this one, and that's going to need to continue.
So second down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Again, it's Cousins. Pass incomplete. A look at the defensive starters now for the Raiders. They were terrific last week in the victory over Kansas City.
Have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw. They ended up getting 4 sacks in the game, stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire time, made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield.
And that's what they told us this week, that pressure on the QB is key. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Cousins again. And that will be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
So here comes the Raiders offense now onto the field. Leading them out, their 6-year quarterback. Hailing from Fresno State, that's Derek Carr.
His game last week reminded me of the old song, Accentuate the Positive, because that's about all he did, right?
Yeah.
3 touchdown passes, over 300 yards in the air, receivers happy.
And he got the win.
Got the win. If you're a running back that likes to catch passes, they're happy as well. Big-time game.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. A look now at the Oakland offense.
And there's offensive tackle Trent Brown signed away from New England in the offseason on a 4-year, $66 million deal to protect his new quarterback in Oakland, Derek Carr. No stranger to the Bay Area. First 3 years in the league, where with San Francisco as a 49er, he can play left or right tackle.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. And they played well against the pass, currently ranked 7th in the NFL.
Yeah, defending the pass hasn't been an issue for them. It's been stopping the run. And if they don't stop the run, they can't get back to their strength, which is guarding against the air attack.
Here's Carr. And the throw there going to be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And out now come the Vikings. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Throwing. Cousins. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. From his linebacker's spot, Vontaze Burfict with a sack.
Partner, the Mike linebacker, the middle linebacker has so many different responsibilities. How excited do you think he was to get home with that blitz?
Yeah, he wants a sack. He got it. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. They run. Cook. A 4-yard pickup. That gets them going forward, but still 15 yards left on 3rd down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
3rd and long for Cousins. That'll be complete to Cook. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
They run it with a rookie from Alabama, Josh Jacobs. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Carr looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown.
What you just saw there, first-round talent, second year, even more success. A pick-6 for a touchdown.
A great play. And it's tough for these guys, you've told me before, to adjust in the secondary as a first-year guy. So that sophomore season is big for them.
They really start to expand the playbook for them even more. Sometimes they dumb it down a little bit to make them comfortable year 1. By year 2, they should have all the nuances, and now they've adjusted to the speed of NFL play as well.
Showed right there. So they throw the pick-6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Fielded about a yard deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Derek Carr getting ready to go again on offense. And looking to erase his memory bank from his opening drive a moment ago that ended in a pick-6 for the first points of the ballgame.
In my experience, a lot of quarterbacks, after throwing a pick-6, the first thing they want to do is fire another one and get those points back immediately. But what really helps you get back in sync is a good, long, methodical drive, mixing the run and the pass, tamp things down a little bit.
The throw complete here to Williams. The numbers for Williams a week ago, well up over 100 yards, and one of those catches found his way into the end zone.
I do think he'll be hard-pressed to duplicate those numbers this week, though, because he's gotten their attention, so they will double him on every snap at a minimum. In some cases, they'll triple him.
This pass from Carr taken in by Waller, and he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down, 2nd and right at a yard. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They run it with Jacobs. And yet again, he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Great job by this Vikings defense.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through.
He completes it to Jones.
Keep playing.
The pickup there, 5 yards. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one goes for 24 yards. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Back to the running game with Jacobs. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. The Raiders with the football here to begin quarter number 2 as they've got it 2nd down and 12. The Raiders with the football here to begin quarter number 2 as they've got it 2nd down and 12. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have...
That's going to be caught by Williams for a Raiders touchdown. Tyrell Williams his 4th touchdown on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
A reminder, coming up later tonight, a lot of buzz about this game. The Browns, they've been doing some travel. Back-to-back primetime games for them. Monday night they were in New York. Now the Browns head to Los Angeles to take on the NFC champs, Browns and Rams. An 8:20 kickoff Eastern time, 5:20 in California. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3.
Let's see what you got.
Now Cousins. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A toss to Cook. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play, but there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker, and we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss.
Set the tone, defense. Defense, let's go.
Now on 2nd and 13. Cousins. And Diggs has it.
Complete to Stephon Diggs. A gain of a yard makes it 3rd and 11.
The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the 1st down as well. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 48-yard line. Back to the ground, Cook. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Cook. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 12 yards there and a 1st down.
I remember the first time I saw Dalvin Cook play in college. I was watching him on TV, called a scouting friend of mine and said, "Who is this guy? He's special." And he said, "Dude, you're watching a home run hitter on the field."
Yeah, he was special in Tallahassee. Left Florida State their all-time leader in rushing yards and touchdowns. Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10.
He's checking, he's checking.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. They get 14 there. 1st down, Vikings.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. I always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
A little bit of space there for the 1st down run as that's going to get him about 5 yards. So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. They'll try to throw now. Cousins. He's got his man. This is Dodson. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Here's Cousins, and this is going to be incomplete.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow him to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let him get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. So Cousins heads to the Vikings sideline, and on is Dan Bailey to try the field goal. And Bailey able to knock it through. 2 minutes remaining in the 1st half. 10-7, our score. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Pretty good results here on the 1st down run as he takes this forward for about 6. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
A big play that time for the Raiders. 49 yards.
That's a real nice job right there. Working the middle of the field, working against those safeties. And you know, partner, if you get your hips turned the wrong way, big plays can result.
And a big play resulted right there. He'll find his running back here, Richard. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. 12 more yards there and another 1st down. So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. To throw, it's Carr. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Good yardage on first down. Now can they punch it in on second and goal? Carr now to throw, and he's going to go down just outside of the 5, right around the 6-yard line. The sack by big number 98, Linval Joseph.
Here we go.
Carr now on third and goal. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
They don't want it, folks. They don't want it. Keep playing hard, fellas. All day. Let's get it.
They're not going to kick it. A chip shot, but they're going for it down 3 on fourth down. Now Carr. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. They're turned away on fourth and goal. And the Vikings, they come up big down near the goal line. He'll take the knee, and the final couple seconds will tick by in this first half. So we've hit halftime, just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman. And we will skip the highlight show this week, get right back to this Week 3 matchup. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Now on second and 16. Carr. It's Williams on the catch. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down. Like Antonio Brown, Tyrell Williams came to the Raiders in March. Came up the coast from L.A., where he caught 41 balls last year with the Chargers. His best year was 2016 when the Chargers were still in San Diego. Over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, and the Raiders really have high hopes for this 27-year-old receiver. It appears they're going to come up empty on this first drive of the second half, still down by that slim margin.
Yeah, and that's okay. You know, when you sit and analyze it, they're not happy about what happened, having to go to the bench. But this gives them a chance to let their defense do some work while they on the sidelines go over what they're doing offensively and formulate a proper plan.
So here are the Vikings to take over. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 22. They start the drive with Cook. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And as a first-rounder, a lot of eyes on him, a lot of expectations.
And he has to play well in his rookie year. Those days of coddling guys and bringing them along slowly, those days are long gone. When you're drafted in the first round, they expect you to play right away. And the community's eyes and fan base, they'll be on you the entire way.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy, got the best players they could at the time they were drafting, and inserted them into their lineup.
Takes this to the 27, give him 4 yards.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Well, the Raiders call on a nickel set here for 3rd down. From the gun, here's Cousins. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short.
One hallmark of good defenses, basics, understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
A bit of an opening there on the first down run as they get this forward for about 6 yards. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. On 2nd down and 4, Carr is complete to Jones. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. A gain of 13. It's a first down. Carr now 10 of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a 1st and 10. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. To throw his Carr. And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. Everson Griffin in there to get him. It's a loss of 5.
Right there, 54, right there, 54 miles.
Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. He's got a man. It's Williams. The pickup goes for 16 and a Raider first down.
Go!
A gain of 16 yards. First down, Raiders.
180. Hey, we're good, we're good. 180. 25, check 25.
Throwing on 1st down is Carr. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation. And there, the defense won the battle. To throw again on 2nd down. Carr over the middle, complete. It's Bird. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. Carr now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Bird. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. A good pickup there, a 22. On the draw, Richard. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Carr, complete to Jones. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. Carr gives to Richard. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Well, so a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while, but when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, that's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get sixes instead of threes.
So with less than a minute gone by here in this fourth quarter, the field goal there gets this thing back to even.
And it's setting up for a fantastic finish, isn't it, partner? It's been a well-played game, a hard-hitting game. The fans are into it. The announcers are into it. This is going to be a great fourth quarter.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Going deep for Diggs. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw is Cousins. And this is Cook with a grab. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line.
I think I saw a lot of shoulders just drop there. And what I mean by that is they finally were able to relax a little bit because that was an important play call. They needed to pick up that 1st down at this stage of the game.
Yeah, couldn't afford another quick drive and out. They run again on 1st down. Cook. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one. I haven't been a defensive coordinator yet, but think 2nd and 2 is a fun situation to try and defend. Playbook is wide open for an offense, partner.
Nice job. Hold him to 1 after that 8-yard pickup on 1st down. It's complete to Diggs. The Vikings 1st down. Diggs able to find his way free and get the catch from Cousins. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Here's Madison running on 1st down. And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Back to the ground. This time Cook. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Raiders pick it up. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
Well, so much for the 4-minute offense. They were trying to reduce the clock, get in position to win the game, and leave no time for them to come back and catch them. And guess what? They turned the ball over. Yeah, I mean, they had it all set up for themselves, and they let it get away.
Here's Carr to throw. Catch made. It's Moreau. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. That one good for 13 and a Raider 1st down.
Sometimes the most effective routes are the ones that you run in the backyard, and you probably ran them when you were 5 years old. How about that little curl there against zone? But the key to it is finding the open spots in the zone. How a linebacker or a defensive back will widen to give you space.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The defensive end, Daniil Hunter, drops him. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Now Carr. Got his man. That's Tyrell Williams. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Boy, he ran free there after the catch as that winds up going for 38. What a game it's been for this duo.
They remind me of a good comedy team. They know how to play off of each other so well. No matter how one riffs, the other's right there to pick them up, and they are shredding them in this ballgame.
They'll run on first down. It's Jacobs, and they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Give them 12 yards that time and an Oakland first down.
Well, think of it like you would a typical boxing match. The person is on his heels and absorbing blows is having a tough time. And that's what's happening to the defense right now because the offense is on his toes and punching, and there was another first down run right there.
Break down. 180. 54 miles. All day, every day.
On first down, Richard. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Jalen Richard, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And they are able to break the tie and move out in front here in this fourth quarter. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes it a 17-10 score. 5 plays there on that drive. And it ends on the Jalen Richard touchdown run. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So Cousins and the Vikings trailing 17-10, 2:19 to play. Their perfect start to the season in jeopardy unless they can score here as they've got it 1st and 10. A first down throw for Cousins. His throw incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. A big play there on the catch and run. 45 yards. The thing that hurt on that play, the missed tackle, that allowed the extra yardage.
It's a matchup game in the NFL. You get the guy that you want isolated, have him miss a tackle, and off you go.
Cousins now to throw on first down. It's hauled in by Dodson. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Raiders pick it up. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So they need to determine if that knee was down before the ball was coughed up.
And they also wanted to make sure that the ball was possessed as they were going through, that the ball...
So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Cousins now after the fumble recovery. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. He's back to throw.
Brandon, sometimes I think when we watch games, we're actually watching a living museum because we're seeing the evolution of positions almost with each passing game. How about defensive ends nowadays and the way that they can run almost all the way across the field?
It is unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, they're so strong, but they're so lean, they can move so quick with those bodies.
It's almost unfair. You're supposed to be able to know where a defensive end is supposed to be on every play. These guys flash so quickly, you're not sure where they're going to end up.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Zach Brown making his presence felt in the backfield. And they've now made 2 trips to the red zone and still looking for their first touchdown.
Not able to punch it in, and if you're on defense, your confidence is sky high. Because mentally, you're saying, hey, you're in the red zone. We're thinking we're giving up 3. We just want to give up 6. In this case, they end up not giving up the touchdown at all. They've got to feel great about what they got done.
Another yard guard would probably put this thing in the books. It's 2nd and 1. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. The Raiders likely going to get out of this with a victory as they take a knee. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 33 seconds remaining. And they will take a knee here. So with that knee, 3 weeks in the books, and they creep above 500 now at 2-1.
You know, I played with a guy once after taking a knee at the end of the game, and he came in and grabbed the equipment manager and said, make sure you watch that spot, special, because I just took a knee for a win. That tells you how much guys enjoy that, because getting a win, no one takes it for granted.
So this one, a victory for the Oakland Raiders, and it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second-half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether